Hey, you're tuned in to Live at 5. And before we jump into today's guest, I just want to remind you that this show is only possible because of the generosity and support of amazing people like you. Continue to support us by subscribing to this YouTube channel, clicking the link to donations and merchandise in the bio below, and by spreading the word about our shows. Thanks again, and enjoy. Hey there, and welcome to Live at 5. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon here in London, in Deptford, to be more specific. And joining us all the way from Clapton is Darcy O'Connor. What's it looking like in Clapton, Darcy?
Also very sunny. That's why I've decided to wear my hat today.
I wore my hat first, and Darcy copied me blatantly, but I'm choosing to be a really good sport about it, I think. Don't you think, Darcy? He's undecided.
So yeah, what have we got on today, Giacomo? We're back for another archive at 5. It's a Friday, Good Friday, in fact, and this is a particularly great Friday because we have some really lovely music from Smitty's past. So what do we got today?
From José Manuel León, you killed my father, prepare to die. That's not actually how he talks, but I felt it was necessary to go in with the old Princess Bride 1-2 punch.
Bit of theater.
Thanks. I'm glad you got it, Darcy. You're with me. I mean, seriously, one of the best movies of all time. Probably going to make it on some people's top 10 quarantine movies.
Oh, for sure. It was one of those movies that I actually missed as a kid, and I think when I was, I want to say like 15 or 16, like this is how late I saw Princess Bride. My parents were like, "Oh, do you want to watch The Princess Bride?" And I was like, I don't know. Like I knew nothing about it, and I just thought it was like some fantasy, like princess story or like the never-ending story or something, but maybe even a little bit more kiddie. And my dad was like, "No, I think you'll find it funny." And I was like, funny, okay. Like, it must be, like, really bad then, and it's, like, a good bad movie. I was totally wrong. I think that thing, from, like, a writing perspective, is, like, structural perfection. It's so good.
It's like one long joke.
Yeah.
It's like one long stand-up routine. It's like, yeah.
Exactly. Great cast.
Inconceivable. So anyway, moving back to the concert that we have today, we were looking for this weekend's archive at 5, and I found this concert from, must be around 3 years ago, because in the intro I say that we've been at Smitty's for 2 years.
Must be late 2016 or something like that, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And Jose is an amazing guitarist that was introduced to me by Robin Katz, who was on the show on Tuesday, and our mutual friend Alex Toledano, and they brought him to London at one point, in kind of 2013, which was pre Smitty's, and I remember going to see the gig, and at that point he was just playing with his wife Alicia. And they were kind of what Jose does that's so interesting is that he, I think this is kind of the core of why we connected, through the kind of Smitty's ethos, is that he's playing in what's a distinctively flamenco setting. I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of the archetypal flamenco ensemble, if you can say that, guitar, Spanish guitar, and a flamenco singer that usually has this kind of really raspy, guttural, visceral approach to singing, and sings these stories of heartbreak and hardship, kind of like African American blues, but in Spanish and from Spain. And so when Robin wanted to bring Jose back to London. We kind of set up a little, kind of scheme to get him to play at Smitty's as well, a little plan. And it was an amazing night because it was a Friday, and you know what Smitty's is like on a Friday. I mean, it's kind of like a party. Yeah, it's a raucous atmosphere. People are getting loose and they're having a good time. And it was so quiet in there, and you'll see on the recording that you could hear a pin drop, because you can't see the crowd on the video, but if you were to turn around and look behind you, you'd just see people completely entranced by what was going on. They were transfixed on this ensemble, and they're playing completely acoustically as well. So it was really special.
That's amazing. Yeah, I did a bit of research before we jumped on today to sort of place when this might have been, and it must have been pretty early of like when Friday nights had really become not only like a solid fixture for what Smitty's was doing in the week, but as far as like a destination thing to do on a Friday night, go out and see live music. And to me, like having worked behind the bar for a year, like I just want to piggyback on what you were saying, like for a Friday night to be dead quiet, especially, maybe a year into doing Fridays or whatever, that just sounds absolutely incredible. And I've seen it a couple of times, and it's just sometimes like an artist just has this amazing capability to get everyone's attention, and it's like, okay, we're here to see a show. It's quite incredible
to get their attention and hold it because in that space, I mean, for those of you watching that haven't been to Smitty's, we don't tell people, I mean, I did tell people to be quiet on that one, but we don't usually tell people that they have to stay seated and be quiet and not go to the bar and do all that stuff. It's kind of a self-governing policy. And, usually you'll get a good act in and they'll kind of, play one or two songs and people will be really polite and quiet. And then after the third song, they're like, well, actually I had a really long week, so I'm just going to chat to my friend next to me, and this wasn't that kind of show. But the other thing that was amazing about this was and it's kind of a funny story, was the addition of the percussionist, Ruben, who'll be on the left side of the screen when we started up. Because Jose, so I was in touch with Jose, and I don't speak Spanish except for José Manuel León. I am your father, prepare to die. Not that, sorry, that's Star Wars. Got a little confused there.
Star Wars.
Yeah, so we were kind of going back and forth with this whole thing, and I'd seen this guy play with Alicia, with his wife, and it was just kind of this magical thing. And I thought, and he said, well, yeah, we're traveling with this percussionist, so we need to bring the percussionist, and we need extra money for the percussionist and blah blah. And I'm thinking, I don't want the percussionist. I just want the duo, because the duo was magic. And I can remember having a conversation with Robin on the phone saying, oh man, this guy's going to bring this percussionist. It's going to be so weird. I'm going to have to try and tell him in some kind of, language. I don't know how we're going to communicate. I don't want the percussionist, whatever. Anyway, Alex, the guy that kind of introduced us all to Jose, he was like, listen, get the percussionist. The percussionist is incredible. And they showed up as a trio, and as soon as they started sound checking, I was like, this is going to be a once in a lifetime show. It's going to be amazing. And so I guess we're just lucky that we had the camera up that night, and that we have that preserved, and that we can present it to you this afternoon.
Amazing. So this is, one more time for the audience, I want to hear
José
that name.
Manuel León. And the band is actually called Mujer Clórica, if you want to look it up. But Jose's has a few releases on Spotify as well. If you like the sound of this, look up José Manuel León, or you can join our Live at 5 podcast playlist, and I'll be adding some tracks from Jose to that list. So we hope you enjoy José Manuel León. This is most definitely my most anticipated night of the year, and we've been here actually now for 2 years. So maybe it's my most anticipated night for 2 years. But it's such a huge pleasure we saw Jose, thanks to Alex and Robin, 4 years ago at the Cucumber Bar, and we've kind of just been watching and rewatching and rewatching and rewatching the video of the show since then, and it's kind of a dream to have it happening all in front of us here. They're joined, Alicia and Jose are here. Alicia and Jose are joined tonight by a new member of the group to me, although you've been playing with them for 3 years now. And his name is Ruben. And please put your hands together. And since we're completely unamplified tonight, it goes without saying that you're completely quiet. In the nicest way possible. Okay? Thank you. and that was José Manuel León, Alicia Carrasco, and Ruben, whose name I can't remember, but but that was Mujer Colorica. And what do you think, Darce? It's amazing, isn't
It
it?
was amazing. I mean, I'd never really been exposed to flamenco music, in a live context, being so far away from, like, growing up so far away from Spain, and to see something like that and to know that it happens, where I went to work every day is pretty remarkable. It's world-class music.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's I mean, it's not something that you get a lot. Well, I mean, there are pockets in London as well, but you have the flamenco festival, and obviously there, but it's one of those things that for some reason hasn't found so much feet in this city. And like Jose, for instance, I think hasn't been here much at all, maybe twice in all the time that I've been here. Not to say that he's an example, he's kind of the front runner of the flamenco scene, but it's certainly an indication of kind of the demand for it around here. But saying that, now that room, you can hear, I love watching that concert, and just every time Alicia makes a comment, the whole room kind of giggles in just joy, because everybody's just sitting there thinking this is on another plane. You can see Robin Katz, who I think may be watching still. You can see him just turning around to other friends in the audience and just shaking his head and going like this, saying,
and
what is this?
Robin's a great guitar player at his own right, and I love seeing that reaction of a musician, and you can see it on your face too. You're just gobsmacked at how well this person is trained in their craft. And and even to touch on what Adrian was talking about the other day, like how they've managed to entertain an audience. They've got the whole package going on.
Yeah. We had some people in the chat today. Thanks for watching, to Coco and to Adrian and to Colin Phillips. And I think Robin is also watching, so shout out to him. Yeah. We will be showing the second part of that concert tomorrow at 5:00 for our second part of our archive at 5. And hopefully we'll be getting some cocktail tips in from Alex Bolton down in New Zealand, which are always welcome. We have a record of the day today, which I believe is going to pop up to my side here, which is a Ray Bryant solo album, and that's going to get on our playlist as well. But I have to say, I mean, Ray Bryant is an unsung hero of jazz piano for me, because he falls in this middle ground between Oscar Peterson and Hank Jones.
Oh, right.
He's kind of a less busy, a less kind of flourishy Oscar Peterson.
Sure.
Oscar Peterson gives you so much, in terms of textures from the keyboard, just notes. Whereas Hank Jones is kind of the portrait of class. He's the kind of it's all about, it's just such a perfectly gentlemanly presentation of jazz composition. And Ray Bryant somewhere in between, but with this dose of blues, which is so nice, to kind of dig into. And he didn't find as much fame as Hank Jones or Oscar Peterson did, but he's definitely one of the greats. So be sure to check that album out. It's a recommendation also from Pete Horsfall, who was on Wednesday, and he's always, that's the great thing about Spotify. You can find things that you never knew existed. So have a listen to that. And have a look through the rest of the Live at Fives, because all of the archive is still up. But until tomorrow, what does that even mean? What have I just said?
We will see you
That's
tomorrow.
The sentence. We will see you tomorrow.
And until then,
this is why I keep you around, Darcy. Speak English for me. thank you to our producer, Darcy O'Connor in Clapton. And thank you to you for listening and tuning in to Live at 5. Be sure to subscribe to this channel and to click on the link below to find out more. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Thanks again for listening to Live at 5. Remember to subscribe to this channel and click on the link in the description to see where you can donate, sign up for a Smitty's membership, or buy our records and merch. See you tomorrow. Thanks again.